Welcome back to Biblical Insights 101, Set Up and Didn't Know It. My friends, have you ever looked at your life and said, this is nobody but God? Doors opening you didn't knock on, favor you didn't campaign for, strength you didn't manufacture. You know it's the hand of the Lord. The Bible reminds us in Jeremiah 29:11 that God declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope." If God has a plan, you can be certain the enemy has a counter plan. Yet what the enemy doesn't know is this: even his interference is part of God's setup. In 2 Corinthians 12:7-9, the Apostle Paul speaks of a thorn in his flesh. 3 times he prayed for it to be removed. 3 times he sought relief. And God answered, not with removal, but with revelation. "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." Paul thought he was under attack. He was, but he was also under assignment. The thorn wasn't there to destroy him. It was there to develop him. The pressure wasn't punishment, it was preparation. He was set up for a greater demonstration of God's power and didn't even know it. Sometimes the very thing you are rebuking is the tool God is using to refine you. Consider Book of Job 1-2. Satan showed up when Job was blessed. He questioned Job's integrity and asked for permission to test him. Notice something critical. Satan could not move without God's allowance. Job lost possessions. He lost health. He lost comfort. But he never lost God's covering. What looked like devastation was divine demonstration. What looked like loss was a setup for double restoration. The enemy stirred up wrath, gathered stones, blocked pathways, but God was watching the whole time. God was working in the background on Job's behalf. And when the season was over, Job came out with more than he went in with. Scripture tells us in 1 Peter 5:8, to be sober and vigilant because the adversary walks about like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Notice, it says seeking. He's looking for access. He stirs up confusion. He stirs up division. He stirs up discouragement. He gathers stones of doubt, fear, and delay to block your path to victory. But here is the encouragement. He may be busy, but he is not in control. While Satan is plotting, God is positioning. While the enemy is blocking, God is building. While the adversary is stirring wrath, God is stirring purpose. Romans 8:28 reminds us that all things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Even the thorn works, even the trial works, even the delay works. You may feel resisted, but you are really being reinforced. You may feel attacked, but you are actually being advanced. You are set up for growth, set up for grace, set up for greater glory, and you didn't even know it. Be watchful, stay prayerful, discern the season. When you see blessing, don't be surprised by battle. The enemy would not fight you if there were nothing in you worth fighting over. So when the stones appear in your path, remember, God is the master builder. He knows how to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. When grace shows up instead of removal, it's because you're being set up for a testimony. You're not being blocked. You're being built. You're not being defeated. You're being developed. You are set up and didn't know it.
from the old school.